Shalom, Kal Halayim La Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachak Wadash. Double honors unto our apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Much peace and blessings to all you sincere Akim out there that's pushing this 100% truth with all sincerity, faith, and with charity. This is your brother Osh from the Great Millstone Miami Camp, coming back with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And Lord willing, this lesson is edifying unto the elect. The title of this lesson is going to be CERN, the Mandela effect, and the plague of the mind. CERN, the Mandela effect, and the plague of the mind. Now, this lesson is inspired from this video that you see right here, which was put up by Be Inspired channel. Okay, no pun intended. Which is titled CERN, Insider Speaks Out. Something is wrong with reality. Okay. Now, different apostles and elders and brothers have been speaking about CERN for some time now, and all brothers should be somewhat familiar with it. Before I speak about this video, let's just get some information about CERN. Okay. Here you have CERN. It says, stands for European Organization of Nuclear Research. Okay, it says CERN. This is what Esau tells you what CERN is about. CERN's main focus is particle physics, the study of the fundamental constituents of matter. But the physics program at the laboratory is much broader, ranging from nuclear to high energy physics, from studies of antimatter to the possible effects of cosmic rays on clouds. So it's a think tank of mainly Edomites and their so-called science, basically trying to understand the fundamental building blocks of this reality. And we know through the spirit that these devils are working high-level witchcraft. And they have something called the Large Hadron Collider, which is the biggest structure basically on the earth, where they accelerate particles to the speed of light and smash them, right? Supposedly. Now, you have different theories, so-called conspiracy theories, about what this thing is all about and what they actually do. And I want to mention how CERN, the creators of CERN, are also the creators of the Bilderberg Group. And all brothers should be also familiar with the Bilderberg Group. Which, let's get a little information on that. Okay. I searched CERN and the Bilderberg Group. It says CERN and the Bilderberg Group are distinct entities, but they intersect through attendees and conspiracy theories. This is Esau trying to do damage control, right? Let's read it. It says CERN is a major particle physics lab, while Bilderberg is a secretive annual meeting for global elites. discussing world issues with past CERN figures like Director General Fabiola Gianotti attending Bilderberg meetings, fueling speculation about secret coordination, though CERN itself is a scientific body, not a political cabal. Okay, it says CERN, what is it? An intergovernmental organization, the world's largest particle physics laboratory, famous for the Large Hadron Collider. Another thing, the internet was created at CERN. So that's that. It says to understand the fundamental structure of the universe by smashing particles together. Now we know that Esau has a God complex, that he's trying to basically trump the Most High. We know this. Okay, as a matter of fact, let's start with this scripture right here. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 7, and verse 25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. And they shall be given into his hand until a time and a times and dividing of time. And we know this is talking about this man Esau today, with his current rulership started with the elites. Okay, now we know, brothers, there's layers to this. We use this scripture and we bring out examples like his daylight savings time, the way he tried to manipulate times, and his false days, Friday, Saturday. He gave us a total fake calendar. Right? They try to switch up they swearing on the Bible, but they break every law. But another layer to this is that Esau is actually trying to manipulate reality. He's actually trying to manipulate what he calls the fabric of space-time. Okay, they make different movies about, which we know he deals with predictive programming, and he reveals certain technology he has with these movies. How many movies has this man created about time traveling, building a time travel machine, opening portals? They have this main show, the biggest show on TV, which TV is now streamed, which is on Netflix, called Stranger Things, which is all about Esau and his higher level scientists, which are warlocks, using his technology, opening portals and summoning demons. Right? Which I haven't watched the new season. Lord willing, I'll check it out. So we know whether or not Esau can actually time travel. It's hard to believe that the Most High will give that devil that type of power. And I'm not saying that he did, but he's definitely thinking about it. You best believe Esau has not only thought about it, but put in efforts to actually try to do it. Whatever they put in movies and they call it science fiction, you better believe they're really trying to do it. Everything they show you in these so-called science fiction movies, they actually have people set up to bring it into fruition. The same way how before they came out with the invention of the cell phone, they had movies about it. They showed you that in what they call Star Trek. They had people talking on phones before they came out. And who's to say they didn't already have it? They just didn't release it to the public yet. All this technology that is released to the public, before they release it, they're using it themselves. And now you have this guy Elon Musk with his whole Occupy Mars madness. he came out and said, which brothers have shared videos on that, him saying we want to make Star Trek a reality. Now we know for a fact this devil can't leave the earth, but he could if he would. And that's how we know they haven't really been to the moon, because if they did, they would have colonized it. There would be structures and things going on up there. So that's that. Just to bring that out. Okay, so let's go back. The Bilderberg Group, an annual private conference of influential political, financial, industrial, and academic leaders from North America and Europe, to foster dialogue and consensus on major global issues, promoting free market capitalism and transatlantic ties. A forum for informal discussions, not a policy-making body with strict confidentiality, right? What they call a Chatham House rule. What they talk about, they don't release it. You don't know what they're talking about. And they have these meetings every so often. And this is one of, as the scriptures say, let's get it. The book of Job, chapter 5, and verse 14. They meet with darkness in the daytime and grope in the moon day as in the night. What is that? Psalms 64 speaks about the secret counsel of the wicked. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, as King David said. So we know they have these meetings similar to the Bohemian Grove, similar to the World Economic Forum meetings, and other meetings that they have that people don't know about. And they come up with plans, like it says in Psalms 83. The scriptures speak about this. They conspire together on how to overcome the nation of Israel, ultimately how to overcome the Most High and His Son. That's also in Psalms 2. Okay? The connection and conspiracy theories. High-profile figures from science, technology, finance, and government often attend both, creating overlap. And if you really do your research, they were founded by the same people. They were founded within months together. They were founded in the same year within months, 1954. Okay, the conspiracy link, the secrecy surrounding the Bilderberg meetings combined with CERN's powerful, mysterious sounding science, like the Large Hadron Collider, feeds theories about a shadowy elite, sometimes linked to Bilderberg, using CERN for nefarious purposes, e.g., creating portals to hell, summoning Antichrist, which we know, according to the scriptures, there are many antichrists. It's not just one guy or one person. But we know these devils do shit like this. They're all about opening portals, summoning demons. That's what they do. That's what they've always done. But now they're doing it with their technology. And as the scriptures say in Daniel the 12th chapter, in the last days knowledge shall be increased. That's on the right hand side as well as the left hand side. Because we're coming to the final showdown between good and evil. And the Most High is all about theatrics. Okay? Reality. While powerful people attend both, CERN's role in scientific discovery and Bilderberg's is elite networking. And we know what these devils network for. Wickedness. Straight like that. So it doesn't take rocket science to surmise what these devils could possibly up to. Nothing good. The conspiracy linking them involves misinterpreting the functions and secrecy of both organizations. No, it does not. Again, we know what these devils are up to. We don't know exactly what they're up to, but we know what direction they're going. Okay? So, back to the video. I watched this video. You have this CERN insider, this woman that you see right here, and she came out and she said some of the things that they're doing. Opening portals, opening black holes, okay? Speaking about how when they run these machines, as a matter of fact, I'll just play a little bit of what she said. And Lord, will I put the video in the description box so brothers can watch.
Something in the reality. They are disclosing that they are doing. They had changed something in the reality. They are disclosing that they are doing all this type of research on wormholes, black holes, change of time and space. I mean, officially.
Yes, she's talking about CERN.
As you see, right, CERN was their logo, the 666. Showing you this man loves this number. That's his number. And we know what that's leading to. This is all to forward his beast agenda. Again, the internet was created at CERN. We know the internet is a major component of this man's beast system. Esau is putting in a lot of work to bring about his NWO. And there's many layers to it. You have many different people playing their roles to bring this thing apart, coming from all different angles, but meeting in the middle. Okay? You have Google Chrome with the 666 in their logo. You have the first Apple computer ever created, supposedly by this man Steve Jobs, was $666. You can look that up. Which, of course, the apple, we know that goes back to the book of Genesis with Adam and Eve, and we know it wasn't no damn apple, but that's what everyone thinks. An apple with a bite taken out. What is that? That represents the knowledge, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, or the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil. And we know this man was the serpent. Okay? So, let's play it again, what she said.
They had changed something in the reality. They are disclosing that they are doing all this type of research on wormholes, black holes, change of time and space. I mean, officially.
Yes, she's...
Wormholes, black holes, change of times, and the fabric of reality. Again, this man is on a whole nother level of wickedness, as the scriptures say, as we're going to get. But focusing on the change of times. The scriptures tell you that. We just read it. Every sort of mad level scientist of wickedness that we can think of, you better believe Esau has thought of it. And he has all the money and the power in the world to actually try to bring these things about. Okay? So in this video, you had this woman speak about some of the things that they have going on, and then they went into what's known as the Mandela effect. Okay? Which I'm pretty sure a lot of you brothers have heard of the Mandela effect, but for edification purposes, let's just get it. Search Nelson Mandela dying in prison. That's the origins of this Mandela effect. Okay, it says no, Nelson Mandela did not die in prison. He was released in 1990 after 27 years. Okay, which that number 27 means ritual. Just to throw that out there. And became South Africa's first black president, dying in 2013. But this is the point, but many people falsely remember him dying in the 1980s, a popular example of the Mandela effect. This collective false memory, where large groups misremember historical events, led many to recall news coverage or funerals for Mandela during his time in prison. So that's the basis of the Mandela effect. It goes on to say the Mandela effect, the idea that Mandela died in prison, is the origin of the Mandela effect, a phenomenon where many people share a specific false memory. Okay, so it's basically where you have large groups of people saying that they remember certain things being this way, or they heard something was reported as this, but in today you look it up and it's different. Or they remember seeing things one way, but today it is different. And you look it up and say it was never that way. Another popular example is the Monopoly Man. Okay, we all have played Monopoly, and you have many people saying they remember the Monopoly Man on the box, on the board, the game board, him being represented with a monocle, which is basically an eyeglass with one eye, right? But if you see it today, he doesn't have it. Now, me personally, I do remember him having a monocle. I can vividly remember that. Another example is the Fruit of the Loom logo. You have the underwear brand Fruit of the Loom, where you have the fruit, but there's also being a cornucopia behind it, which is like that weaved horn-looking thing that holds fruit. They use that symbology a lot with Thanksgiving. Okay? But if you look up today, the cornucopia isn't there anymore. And there's plenty of other examples. Different things in movies changing. Different movies, different TV shows, saying things, different famous lines in a TV show that we remember, but if you watch it today, it's not in the show anymore. Another example is Forrest Gump. We all watched Forrest Gump. I know I did. I watched the movie all the time. You have a famous line, "Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get." But it says if you watch the movie today, the line goes, "Life was like a box of chocolates." Another example is in the Star Wars. They have the famous line, "Luke, I am your father." But if today, everybody remember saying, "Luke, I am your father," but today it doesn't say that. It says, "But I am your father," or some shit like that. So it's a lot of small details and things that seem to be changing. Now, whether or not this is actually happening, because if it's actually happening, that means something is going on, right? Something very strange is going on. But if it isn't really happening, why are all these people remembering things to be one way and today is not that way? So either way, something is going on. Something, and there's thousands of examples of the Mandela effect. So either things are really changing, reality is really being distorted some way, somehow, or people are bugging the hell out. Everybody's bugging out with the same bug out. Okay, which goes into the plague of the mind. And we know, according to the scriptures, the Most High deals with the plague of the mind, right? The hell? Is the book of Sirach, chapter 25 and 13. Give me any plague but the plague of the heart, and any wickedness but the wickedness of a woman. And we know that word heart in the scriptures is lob, which means what? Your mind. So one of the worst things that can happen to you is having a mental disorder, a mental illness, losing your mind, okay, bugging out, going crazy. That's a living hell. You ask any people that have gone through that, somehow come out of that, they'll tell you that's one of the worst things. Right? So you have a lot of people saying that CERN, in particular, the Large Hadron Collider, having something to do with that. And again, who's to say? We don't know for sure, but absolutely something is going on. Okay? So, with that being said, we're just gonna get some scriptures on this. We started off with this Daniel. Okay. I lost my track. Okay. What was that? Isaiah 66. It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 66. Is that 66? Or is it 63? Isaiah 66 and 4, Salakia. I also will choose their delusions and will bring their fears upon them. Because when I called, none did answer. When I spake, they did not hear. But they did evil before mine eyes, and choose that in which I delighted not. The NLT says, I will send them great trouble. All the things they feared, for when I called, they did not answer. When I spoke, they did not listen. They deliberately sinned before my very eyes, and chose to do what they know I despise. So we know that great judgment is coming. This is speaking to the nation of Israel that are not of the elect, first and foremost, and to the world. Stranger things are coming. And the point of me doing this lesson is to exhort brethren to stay as grounded and as rooted in the word of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai as possible. Because absolutely something is going on. And we know through the scriptures this man has been given great power on the left hand side to deceive. We speak about psyops. We speak about false flags. We speak about this man's technology. We speak about the times of the end and different things to come. And one of those things to come are people losing their minds in a mass scale. Things are going to happen where people are going to question reality. They're going to question their own existence. And this is coming as a form of judgment from the Most High. Because again, that's one of the worst things to happen. And we just read the Lord is going to bring their fears. Like you watched that movie Bird Box, where people were just seeing their absolute, everybody specifically having their fear come to life and manifest before their eyes, though nothing was there. Which the Most High did that in Egypt. And we know we're in this current Egypt. So all the different plagues that happened in Egypt is going to come back times 10. Okay? And Lord willing, the Most High keeps us. Lord willing, the Most High keeps our mind. Like it says in 2 Timothy, I have not given thee the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. That's what we want, a sound mind. Because everybody else is going to lose their mind. The scriptures also say what? Isaiah 26:3. Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusteth in thee. So those that truly believe in Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai, those are truly grounded and rooted and faithful in the word, are not going to be confounded. They're not going to lose their peace of mind because of the things that's going on in the earth. We have to cultivate a mindset of one, and I always speak about this, going to that dark place, being able to examine yourself accurately, acknowledging the darkness within you and without you, so that you can see the light. Okay, there's no darkness without, or there's no light without darkness. Light shines in darkness, right? So we have to be realist in this thing. And what comes with that is knowing the extent of how bad things are going to be. We speak about the martial law troops. We speak about famine. We speak about the death that's coming. Well, another thing is these strange, weird, unexplainable things that's going to happen. And that brings me back to this dream that I had years ago, earlier on in my walk. And basically it was like normal. Everything was normal. And out of nowhere, things started to get really strange. I started seeing things. I started hearing things. It's like my mind was going bad. And it was like that for a little minute. And in the dream, I actually thought I was losing my mind. And then I picked up the scriptures and trying to read the scriptures. And even the scriptures didn't make sense to me at first. But I kept reading it. And slowly but surely, things started to become normal again. So we're going to see things. We're going to hear things that are not going to align with what we know to be normal. And if you're not grounded in the truth, it's going to make you question your sanity. So we have to develop a mind of, as the scriptures say, we walk by faith, not by sight. We have to develop a mind where the word of the Lord is more real than what we actually call life. Because this life is not real. This is a prison. This is not real life. None of us have actually lived before. This thing of ours that we call life, this is something that the Most High set up to teach us right from wrong. What we live when Adam and Eve were planted in the garden, that was real life. And we know how that story went. Adam fell through listening to his wife, and the Most High changed things about the earth. Fundamental laws of nature, things were changed, and the world became what it is today. And Esau has been given power over this world. Okay? What's that? 2 Thessalonians. Okay, Esau has been given power over this world. And a lot of things are elusive. A lot of things in this world, as the scriptures say, the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? Okay, let's get this scripture. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come. What day? The day of the Lord. The day we're all waiting for, so that we may be released from this prison and get to actually live, where the world is going to go back to its proper state, the way it was in the garden. Except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. Who's that son of perdition, which means destruction? That's Esau. He's the man of destruction. Okay, and even in front of the Large Hadron Collider, they have a shrine to the so-called god of Shiva, the god of destruction. You can look that up. And they have a video where they actually, which they say was a mock sacrifice, but they sacrificed, I believe, a baby, a child in front of it. The same way they have a video of them doing that at the Bohemian Grove. And we know Esau deals with sacrifices to these different idols, which are all demons. And they take counsel with these left-hand spirits to gain knowledge on how to build certain things and to get counsel on doing certain things. Okay? It says, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God or that is worshipped, so that he as the Most High sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. Again, this man has a God complex. He's defying the Most High. He tells people there is no God, or if there is a God, it looks like him. Meanwhile, he's behind closed doors taking counsel with Satan and the different left-hand entities. And he knows his elite. They know that there is a Most High. They know his name. They know what he looks like. They know who his true people are. And they're in open defiance to him. They are in open rebellion against the Most High. And they're thinking of different ways to overthrow him, to try to overthrow him. And that is what CERN is all about. Trying to understand the fundamental building blocks of reality so they can try to manipulate it, so that he can get his birthright back, so that he could try to prolong his kingdom and avoid judgment. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you I told you these things? And now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time. And he is being revealed. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work, only he now will let until he be taken out of the way. Right, that's the Most High is allowing this devil to do what he's doing until it's time for him to be taken out of the way. Okay, the mystery of iniquity at that time, as we know, it was Rome. And we're living in the Roman Empire coming back. Okay, verse 8. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. How is he destroying with the spirit of his mouth? By the word of the prophets. We're exposing this man. We're linking different current events, history, okay, with the scriptures, with the prophecies, and showing, making it perfectly clear that this man is Esau, that this man is the devil, that we're living in his kingdom. He's been given power by Satan for a time, and he's going to be taken out of the way when the Lord actually returns. That's the brightness of his coming. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders. Okay, NLT says this man will come to do the work of Satan with counterfeit power and signs and miracles. Okay, that's not just talking about him with his Christianity doctrine. That's not just talking about him doing some low-level witchcraft, pulling a rabbit out of a hat. No, this man is working high-level witchcraft, doing things that you only see in movies, and they put it in the movies. You think it's fake, you think it's just science fiction. Well, truth is stranger than fiction. And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. So the Lord is going to allow the majority of the earth to be deceived by this man. Okay, and for this cause the Most High shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. You see that? So he's been given all power to deceive. And the Lord is going to give him strong delusions. That's what this Mandela effect is all about. Whether this man is truly distorting reality, which could be the case. Okay? I remember the Apostle Elder Tahar said years back, Yahweh shall turn water into wine, right? Well, Esau can turn water into wine. And at first that might be a hard saying, but it's true. This man has been given great power on the left-hand side, which also gives us a look into the type of power the Most High is going to give his men on the right-hand side to be able to balance. The scriptures say a false balance is a abomination to Yahweh. So this man is opening portals, summoning spirits. Well, the Lord is going to give his men power to open portals. I remember a dream, which Lord willing is a vision, that the elder, I believe Hawad is his name, out of the North Carolina camp, had years back of the end times and spiritual power, and how the apostles and elders and different brothers were given high-level spiritual power, and Esau was coming after brothers. He spoke about how brothers were flying at supersonic speeds. Different fighter jets was chasing after brothers. And he said he saw the elder Ayathan flying with a fighter jet chasing him. and the elder opened up a portal, flew into the portal, right? Disappeared into the portal, and the fighter jet followed him into the portal. Then the elder came back out and froze the portal. Okay? So that's the type of power that's coming to the men of the Lord. The Most High is going to show this devil true power, which again, the right hand is always going to outweigh the left hand. That's true balance. Okay, but if you read the NLT right here, starting from verse 10, it says, he will use every kind of evil deception. Every kind of evil deception. So again, that doesn't just stop at him lying and just saying stuff. He's going to actually physically bring about deceptions that are going to bug people the hell out. Unexplainable things. Stranger things. To fool those on their way to destruction. Right. That's the point. Because they refuse to love and accept the truth that will save them. So God will cause them to be greatly deceived. And they will believe these lies. Then they will be condemned for enjoying evil rather than believing the truth. So again, we're about to see some crazy shit. So we have to remember that everything that we see in this world was created by the Word. The Word existed first. And that's Yahweh Shai. In the beginning was the Word. So the Word is more true and more real than what we call real life. And that's the only thing we have to hang on. Again, we walk by faith, not by sight. That's what this Mandela effect is. It's a mass psychosis going on. Right? Again, this man opening portals, manipulating reality. This shit is real. I remember a year or two ago, brothers was sharing this video about this woman, this so-called black woman. She was in the hospital bed laid up, giving her testimony of how she was driving, I believe on a highway or some street, and out of nowhere, in a split second, she was on a total different road, far out from where she was. And she was in the car with her son. She basically teleported. She said it was like she went through a portal. And when she came out on the other side in a total different street, out of nowhere, a truck just smacked her. And she was believable. She was convinced. She was convincing. And her son is her witness. And brothers was sharing that, speaking about that. And I believe it. Right? The scriptures speak about teleportation. So we know it's possible. You had the case in the book of Bel and the Dragon with Daniel and Habakkuk. Habakkuk was teleported to feed Daniel. You have the case of Philip the evangelist after breaking bread with the Ethiopian eunuch. The scripture said he was caught up in the spirit and taken to another place. So if it could happen on the right hand side, it could happen on the left hand side. And if you watch the video, well, and I'll link it in the description box, you have different people going into their testimonies of strange and weird things, unexplainable things taking place. You have somebody else in the comment section saying basically the same thing happened to them. They were in one place and they were just taken to a total different place. Now, of course, some of these stories, maybe people tripping, maybe people bugging out. But it's a lot of testimonies. Different people saying they've had pictures of them and other people with significance. So they looked at the picture many times, right? For sentimental reasons. And then they look at the picture one day and it's different. They're standing in another position. You have testimonies of I saw one where a person said their grandmother or aunt knitted them some socks, and it had a message on the socks. One message on one sock and another one on the other sock that they wore all the time. And then one day the other sock said something totally different. And the sock had the same kind of wear on it. You have another testimony of a guy said that they had a friend whose son died years ago, and they went to the funeral, and they brought someone with them to the funeral, and then out of nowhere the old friend calls them and say, "You want to speak to my son?" And they speak to the son on the phone, and they run to the friend and say, "Didn't we go to his funeral?" And they say, "Yeah." But somehow the guy is alive again. and he never died. So again, whether or not something's going on, something is going on. Something indeed is going on. So we have to stay locked in. We have to stay grounded. We have to stay rooted in the word of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Okay, the scriptures say, I end off with this. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 24. And 24. For there shall arise false Hamashiachs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. See, before I have told you these things. So like, behold, I have told you these things. I have told you before. So the Lord is warning us that stranger things are going to happen. Some crazy things are going to happen. And if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. Meaning, if it were not for the Lord, when we of the elect, we would bug out too. With all that we know, with all that we read in the scriptures, we would bug out too. And the only thing that's going to stop us from bugging out is the Lord. So things are going to happen to where at first you're going to have different men and women of the elect. They may bug out for a second. You see something, say something totally unexplainable, and you question your whole existence. But the Lord is going to do something to snap you back into reality. He's going to put you back into a sound mind. And it also says that the Lord is going to speed up those days for the elect's sake. So that's how bad it's going to be. So I do this lesson to stress, to speak on the things that's coming down the pipe. The darkness that awaits. We have to really consider these things and prepare ourselves spiritually, physically, and mentally for what we're about to witness. The scriptures speak about a time like never before. To stress how important it is to be grounded and rooted in the word. Because the word doesn't change. The scriptures say the Lord is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Roughly paraphrasing. That's the only thing that's real. That's truly real. And that's what we're going to have to lean on in the times to come, in the days to come. Thus saith the Lord. All right. So that's pretty much it. There's plenty of the scriptures that I could bring out in this lesson, but I believe the point is made. And again, Lord willing, it was edifying. With that, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. And to the next one, Shalom.